Good afternoon, students. And how are you this afternoon?
Good.
You good? Just good?
Yes, miss.
Sure?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So welcome back to our week 2 of critical mathematics. And I hope for this afternoon session, we will all enjoy the session and learn something at the end. One of the things that I would like to ask you, mathematics is?
Fun.
Mathematics is fun. That's one of the things. What else we would have learned?
Helpful.
Helpful.
You do mathematics in everything.
You do mathematics in everything. And there is one word that we use, mathematics is, with a L.
Learning.
Pardon me?
Learning.
Learning? No, not that. What? Mathematics is life. We didn't remember that? Write it down. Write it big and bold. Mathematics is life. Everybody have it big and bold? Put a design around it now. So when you open your page, you will see. All right. Are we ready? Now that you have your little caption there, mathematics is life, I would like you to always remember that. Right? Because remember, in everything that we do, and every time we wake up in the morning, everything that we do during the day, we're doing some form of mathematics, some form of calculation, some form of addition, some form of subtraction. So please always remember that. So when you go about your daily chores, don't think that mathematics is hard, because mathematics is going with you all day long. So mathematics is?
Life.
All right. Can we say our ABC?
Yes.
Yes, miss.
Start. A.
B.
Say it louder.
A.
Say it louder. Uh-huh.
S.
Yes.
A.
A.
B.
C.
D. E.
F.
G.
Okay. And those things are?
No. Alphabets.
They're alphabets, and we will call them
Letters.
letters. Right? So we can associate the English aspect with mathematics. Right? So I would first like to show you, I'll have a presentation for you for us to move on. And it should be coming up on the screen. Good. So for this afternoon session, we're going to make use of the symbols and algebraic statement. Remember what I asked you just now? Your alphabet? Well, this will coincide with the algebraic statement. Basically using letters, numbers, symbols, and sign in mathematics. So here we know we have our student, Sakila, that is present. Shamar, that is present. And Jacoby. The others, we know that we will see them soon before the class is over. Do you know mathematics and English are twins? Yes? That's good. Yes, mathematics and English, they are twins. Why? There, one example. English cannot live with mathematics, basically because, could you please give me a statement? Shamar, give me any English statement, anything.
The boy is running.
The boy is running. Could we put that mathematically? What do you think?
1.
The boy runs.
So how can we write that mathematically? When we think about mathematics, what are we thinking about?
Numbers.
Numbers. So the boy is running. How do we do that mathematically?
3.
3. So we have 3 boys already. Do you think that we can take Shamar's statement and put it mathematically, Keela?
No.
No. All right. So that is why I said English can live without mathematics. Right? But mathematics cannot live without English. Why?
Could use the English words as problems.
Yes. We can see, give me an example. Yes. An example. Using the English words as a problem.
A mother bought
A
3
mo-
apples.
A mother bought 3 apples. Fair enough. Agree?
Yes, miss.
Agree?
Yes, miss.
Right. We can use the 3 from the English words, right, by spelling it, and also we can use it with the number 3, right? How can we write apple? Huh? Speak louder. You're not. Speak louder. How can we write apple? You weren't wrong.
What letter?
Yes. And what letter?
From the alphabet.
What letter you said just now?
A.
A. Right? So we could have 3 apples by writing 3A. Agree?
Yes, miss.
Right? So sometimes we can use the words by spelling it out, or we can use the numbers or the symbols for the mathematical concept. So my screen. So Shamar, could you please read for me?
Use of basic symbols.
Yeah, continue. Mhm.
We use mathematical symbols or signs to represent a mathematical idea or statement which forms an algebraic expression.
Algebraic expression. Okay, please pardon the full stop there just in the sentence. Akila, could you read the example?
5 apples and 2 bananas.
5 apples and 2 bananas. And we can write that mathematically by writing
5A plus 5B.
5B.
2B. 2B.
5A plus 2B. Everybody agree?
Yes, ma'am.
How did we get the plus sign?
Can you add in there?
Yes, because they have and.
Because we have and. A boy and a girl. So you will have 1 boy and 1 girl standing or sitting. Agree? Or in the room. So the and represents
Plus.
the plus. So Jacoby,
Yes, ma'am.
read the second one.
Miss, I can see there's a complete sentence.
Yes.
Y is less than Z.
Y is less than Z. And the answer?
Z minus Y.
Anybody agree? Huh? You're shaking your head? Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes. Y is less than Z. Why did I write Z minus Y?
It's because it's less.
Because it's less than Z. Why didn't I had Y minus Z?
Because Z is more.
Because Z is more. So despite the statement had Y is less than Z, we cannot write Z take away, Y take away Z. Right? We'll have to put Z minus Y or Z take away Y. So do we agree on the symbol for the less?
Yes, miss.
All right, so let's continue. Can we see that?
No, miss. Yes.
Not, you seen it?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so even before we go and do anything else, let's take down that few points there. So take it down, because it will be going with us wherever we go for the rest of the class. And did we take down the topic?
No, miss.
No, because Miss didn't say to take the topic down. All right, even as we go through, there are words commonly used in algebraic problems or statement. Here are some of the most common words used. You see, addition, where that is the plus sign. The words that can be used is sum, add, combine, increase, larger, plus, more, and. So all those words you can see in a mathematical problem, and you can identify with them because all of them will mean addition. So not because you don't see the addition sign, you will think that you do not know which operation is taking place in the sum. Then we have the subtraction, the minus sign, or some persons say the takeaway sign, where we have the words difference, subtract, minus, fewer, less, take away, decrease. All those words will represent minus or subtraction or subtract, or as we would say, take away. All right? However, going along, you might come up with some additional words that can still work for addition, subtraction, even when we go on to multiplication and division. So don't just limit yourself to the few words that I am sharing with you. You may come up with other words that will mean the same thing and that will take the place of the basic operation in mathematics. We have the multiplication sign, the symbol, and we can also use, you can also see times, multiply, per, twice, thrice, quadruple, product, and you can see many other words that might come that might mean the same thing as multiplication. Then we go on to the division. So even when you're taking notes, ensure that you are writing comfortably, that you can understand what you are writing. When you're looking back at your notes, it will pop out to you. You won't have to try to figure out what you wrote and try to understand what you have in your book. So we have the division, the symbol, and you might see the slash. In words, you have divide, quotient, half, third, fourth, split. You can see all those words and a few more that will mean the same thing as division. So here we have for today our basic operation, and you will be working with those and a few addition that will be very basic and simple that we can include as we go along the session. All right, so we should be wrapping up writing so that we can continue with the session. Let's wrap. What you would have missed, you will get from your slides that will be given to you later in your session. Can we see what is on the screen?
Yes, miss.
Yes,
Okay,
miss.
Shamar, your voice is louder. Could you read for us?
Note on algebraic
A little louder, please.
an algebraic expression cannot be simplified any further. Steps followed in forming algebraic expressions are: select letters to stand for the unknown. Use the mathematic signs plus, minus,
Or
plus,
the
minus,
slash and bracket.
as required by the equation. Write the questions in statement from using the letters and numbers. Algebraic expression is then simplified.
All right. So we have the algebraic, just a little tip for you to go about when you're using algebraic expression is the same as the algebraic statement, right? And we can use the mathematical expression to convert into a statement, or we can use the statement convert into mathematical expression. So as Akila would have given us the example before, where I think
The mother bought 3 apples.
the mother bought 3 apples. Right, so that's the statement. And then we had the expression. By writing, instead of writing the mother bought 3 apples, we just want the mathematical part of it, where we have 3 apples. By not writing 3 and spelling the word apples out, but just writing the number 3 and the letter that can represent the word, right? So we don't have to write a long statement in mathematics. We can just, as long the sentence has mathematical terms in it, you can use the mathematical terms. So you don't, when you're asked to write 5 or 55, you don't have to write the word 55. You write the 5 and the 5, right? So it can help you also, even when you're writing and the teachers are calling, or you're listening to something, you have to write faster. Instead of writing the whole words when you listen to it, you can write 5 multiplied by 45. We don't need it in words. We just write the numbers, although they might be giving you it in words. All right? So let's continue so that we can go on to so few exercises for the afternoon. Good. So let's try these. And even in trying these, let's do a little recap of our last session. What was one of the main focus from our last math session?
Directed numbers.
Yes, break it down a little, not just saying directed numbers, just break it down a little simpler for me.
Negative and positive numbers.
Negative and positive numbers. And what were we doing with them?
Placing them on the number line.
Other than that? Jacoby?
Solving sums with them.
Solving sums by doing what?
Adding, subtracting.
Adding, subtracting, multiplying and dividing. So, despite we were doing that with basic positive and negative numbers, we can still apply those concepts into whatever else we are doing. So even that, you're not expected to forget, because you need it to go along with you as we go along, right? So everything that you would have learned, practice. Try to remember it, because every step along the way, you're taking what you would have learned and applying it to the other step. It will make your work easier, right? You will see why. So we have Jacoby.
Yes, miss.
Please read the statement for me.
Miss, what started before right?
Okay, nothing. Just the first one is right.
Right and
Algebraic expression to represent each of the verbal
similar
statements below. No problem. You will learn as we go along. So we have the first example, or the first problem we would see. Number 1, 1 plus 5. You realize that we have the numbers, a symbol, and words? Good. So what we're going to be doing is writing the algebraic expression for the algebraic statement. So take the first one down. You have 5 seconds. And when you finish writing the statement, you will put your hands up and give me the answer.
That's the first one, right?
Yes.
X plus 5.
X plus 5. Very well. Put your answer down because you need your answer to the problem. Next question. Let's have number 2.
Y plus 9.
Y plus 9. Akila, do you agree?
Yeah.
Y plus 9?
Yeah.
Okay. Y plus 9. Can we all see on the board?
Yes, miss.
Can we see properly?
Yes, miss.
All right, I hope so. Let's get number 3. We have 7 minus 7 less than Z. 7 less than Z. I hope you didn't listen to me just now. That is number 3. Jacoby, I'm going to ask you for the answer.
Number 3.
Yes. 7 less than Z. What do I write?
7 minus than Z.
7 minus Z. That's what I'm writing?
Yes, miss.
All right. Everybody agrees?
Yes, miss.
You agree with 7 minus Z, Akila? Do you? No? Why?
Because 7 is less than Z.
7 is less than Z. Is Z less than 7? Anybody? No. 7 is less than Z. So what do I write?
Z minus 7.
Z minus 7. Jacoby, do we understand?
Yes,
So remember, when you are reading the statement, you need to think. Think about the algebraic letter that you're using. Think about the operation that you're using and how you are forming it. Yes, we know the Z is correct. We know a minus sign is correct and a 7. But how do we write it? The statement said 7 less than Z. Not because we heard 7 first and we know it's a minus and we know also there is a Z. We just say 7 minus Z. Right? So think about it before you write it. So let's go to number 4. B decreased by 4. B decreased by 4. Shamar, do you want to give me the answer for that?
Number 4.
Yes.
Miss have B minus 4.
B decreased by 4, so you have B minus 4. Anyone agrees? Akil, you agree? Not sure? What is your answer?
B minus 4.
You have the same thing? So, B decreased by 4. Simply, you have a certain amount of money and you spend $400 for it. So, won't your money decrease by $400? Shamar? If you have a certain amount of money and you spend $400, won't it decrease? Well, we don't know what is that certain amount. That certain amount can be any amount. So the letter would be standing in place for that for now. Number 5.
Mr. Lapton is right.
Pardon?
Number 4 is right.
Yes. B decreased by 4.
Okay.
Let's go.
Number 5 is a 6.
Anybody?
Anybody?
6.
Just 6?
6 times P.
6 times, how do I write it in
Multiply.
words? 6 multiplied by
P.
P. Agree?
Yes, miss.
Sure?
Yes.
Could I write it like 6P? Could I write it like that?
No, miss.
All right. So 6 multiplied by P means 6P.
It was, I thought it would be for like for odd.
Okay, no. When the letter and the numbers are together, it means that it's multiplying. Right? So I would give an example to real life situation. 5 apples, right? It's actually the 5 multiplied by the A, because why? We have 1 apple. Good? And if you have 5 apples, that means that 1 apple was multiplied 5 times. Do we understand?
Yes.
That 1 apple multiplied 5 times. So that is why you would get the letter and the number together. So we have 6P, or 6 multiplied by P, or 6 P's. Okay? And we can also have another way. 6 dot P means the same thing. 6 dot P. It's not a decimal point. It's a dot represented like a full stop, if you want to say it. Yes. So it's not a decimal point. So as long as you see, even in math, you see 6 dot P or 6.6, it's a multiplication operation, right? So don't see the dot and think it's a mistake, or you see the dot and think it's a decimal, right? You will know when it's the decimal point or when it's the dot. Good. So let's move on. Number 6.
Square C.
Square C. Square C. Agree? You're laughing at me. Is that my answer? What is the answer?
I wrote it wrong.
How do I write it?
Small 2.
I do not have to put the square shape. I can put the C and a small 2 where?
Before.
Before the C?
After.
After the C?
Miss, those here at the top.
A little C at the top of the C. I would normally say floating at the top of the C. Not over the C, but right at the side of the C. Just floating. It must never be in the same line. It must never be at the bottom when we're talking about a square. What does square mean?
Square root.
No. Or what the square means? We have the square of C.
C times C.
C times C. So that is how we got the square. So we actually, our operation is, what is the operation? Multiplication.
I still writing wrong thing.
Right? We following?
Yes, miss.
Okay, let's go. 7.
10
This
divided
time
by
we're gonna
8.
write in 6 instead of C.
10 divided by.
8.
So how do I write that?
Put A.
Put
Put 10 first.
Read. Read it back.
Yeah, 10. Yeah.
10. Uh-huh.
Divided.
I can put a division sign and
A.
A. Or, how can I write that? Another way to write it.
Square root.
No. 10 divided by A. How else can I write that? You know. You all know.
10 dot A.
Okay. Go try. No, not that. Remember the dot is for multiplication. Agree?
No, miss 2 dot.
Oh, 2 dots. Okay. Actually, that can work.
10.
But we don't want that. That can work, but we don't want that. Because that will carry us to another topic.
10 slash A.
10 slash A. Give me something else other than the slash.
Miss, like for number.
10 over A. Isn't this line represented by the division line, division sign?
Yes, miss.
Like a fraction. So it makes it a fraction because this is a fraction. Right? So this is correct. You were correct. I was just giving you another way that you can write it and the answer remains the same. Good? 8. Number 8. What do we have?
Half times Q.
Half times Q. How do I write half?
8.
H. Not in words.
1 over 2.
1 over 2. So I could have put 1 divided by 2 too. But we don't want that. Half.
Times
We can write times.
A. Q.
Q. Q.
Yeah, miss, it look like an 8 to me, so I had to change it.
Oh, here's
The Q look like an 8.
like A.
Oh, an A. Sorry about that. Half of. So how do we know that there was a multiplication there?
The word of.
Of. Very well. Of represent the multiplication. But do I have to write it like this? Can't I write it another way? From one of the examples that we did before?
Half Q.
Half Q. Half Q.
And you should put half dot.
Dot Q. Very well. You're learning. Yes. So we can have half Q or we can have half dot Q. So let's go on to number 9. Answer.
8 plus R. Then
8 plus R.
yes, miss, and then the square.
And then
the 2.
the 2. Just a big 2.
No, miss, it's got this square root.
The floating 2.
Yes, yes.
The floating 2. Good. Very well. Agree, Akila?
Yes, miss.
Sure? Sure, sure. All right. Jacoby, you with us?
Yes, miss.
All right. Let's get the last one. 1/3 of n divided, no.
Decrease.
1/3 of n decreased by 12. How do we write that?
1 over 3.
1 over 3 or 1 divided by 3
Times n.
times n. I'm going to write that a little higher. Sorry about that. 1 divided by 3 times n,
Subtracted by 12.
so minus 12. Now what I'm going to do this for a reason. Why?
You work the numbers in the brackets first.
1 over 3, right? 1/3 of n. The 1/3 belongs to n alone. Okay? And then it's minus in 12. Because remember, I don't have to write it like this. I can write it like, please tell me. Instead of writing this, what could I write?
1/3
1/3
n.
n. I'm listening.
12.
Minus 12. Great. So I can write 1/3 n minus 12, right? So I don't have to put the multiplication sign. If I place the multiplication sign, I will need the bracket to separate the minus 12. If I write it like this, I am saying 1/3 n minus 12. So this is perfectly correct. This is not wrong, right? But if you write it without the bracket, some persons might get a little confused. It's not wrong, right? It will still get the same answer, but some persons might work it differently if it's like this. Good? So we good for this problem?
Yes,
We sure?
Yes, miss.
Sure? Well, charge for me. Charge. Light. Good. Give yourself a tap on the shoulder too. How much you think you got right? All? 10 out of 10?
9.
You got 10 out of 10? Very well. 9? How much you
I
got?
didn't write out all by 10, but I did do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
5. Okay, no problem. You're still working and that is good. So you keep working, keep pushing, and you will do better. So let's go on. Just now we had the basic statement, simple problems that we form the expression, the algebraic expression. Now we're looking at the example of using the statement. Express the statement below algebraically. Sam had $20. How many dollars had he left if he spent X dollars? How do we think we can get that? You have your steps there, right? Let's look at it. Determine the mathematical operation to use by examining the question asked. The question asked was, how many dollars Sam had left? This indicates subtraction. How many dollars he had left. So that meant that his money would have decreased, right? And remember, decrease is subtraction. So write an expression using the operations sign and the symbols given. The operation sign is subtraction. The symbols used are
X and 20.
X and 20. Why 20?
Because you have $20.
$20, and they would have given you an X, right? And the algebraic expression formed would now be 20 minus X, because Sam now have X less than 20. Am I correct?
Yes, miss.
Did I say it correct? Sam has less than 20. Am I correct?
Yes, miss.
I'm just asking. Miss can be wrong at times, you know. Yes. So let's take that statement. Let's take that piece of example quickly. Just write the statement. Sam had $20. And then we write the answer. That is all we need. The statement and the answer. And then we will move on.
Miss, he had 20 Guyana dollars.
Yes, maybe it was 20 Guyana dollars. Maybe Sam was a little boy. Good. So let's look at it. Akila, first question is yours. Shamar, second question yours. So start looking at it so I can get the answer. And Jacoby, third question is yours. So Akila, please read the first question.
Jane has $10 and her sister Mary has X dollars. How many dollars do they have all together?
Okay, let's read it again a little louder.
Jane has $10 and her sister Mary has X dollars. How many dollars do they have all together?
All right. Are you ready to give me the answer? What's the answer?
$10 plus X dollars.
$10 plus X dollars. Shamar, do you agree?
Yes, miss.
Sure. Jacoby, did you hear Akila?
Yes, miss.
Good. So Jane has $10 and her sister has X. We don't know what X is. Maybe X is $40. Maybe Jane's sister is bigger than her, older than her, right? So when we put the money together, we are, what operation? Adding it up. Very well. Let's go, Shamar.
Anne had 3 apples. Her father gave her more, 5 apples. How many apples does she have altogether?
Okay, so she has 3 apples and she was given 5 more. Answer?
3A plus 5A.
3A plus 5A. And remember I said to you from the previous class, when we were doing the directive numbers, we still need to remember the concepts. So if that answer is 3 apples plus 5 apples, actually, how many apples would Anne have now?
8 apples.
8 apples, because we can add the apples up, right? We can add 3 apples and we can add 3 apples to 5 apples, right? Yes. So the answer for that is actually 8 apples. Jacoby,
Yes, miss.
let's see if we can try yours. Peter has 7 sweets.
Peter has 7 sweets. He gave his friend Paul
2 sweets, right?
How many sweets does he have?
Remaining. All right. He has 7 sweets and he gave his friend 2 sweets. How many sweets he has remaining?
5 sweets.
5 sweets. Everybody agree with his answer?
Yes, miss.
Good, but if we had to write it mathematically, okay, before we reach 5S, we would have
7s minus 2s.
Very well, very well. And the answer will be?
5s.
Very good, Jacoby. Lovely. So let's go to the last 2. Sarah is M years old today. What is her age 5 years ago? Sarah is M years old today. What is her age 5 years ago? Any answer?
5 minus M.
5 minus M. Anybody else? Think about it. Put numbers into the letter that you don't know.
Yep.
Huh?
5 minus M.
5 minus M. You agree with that too? Sarah is M years today. How old? What's her age 5 years ago? If Sarah is 10 today, 5 years ago Sarah would have been?
5.
So where is the 10? Where was the 10 placed?
After you add it up.
After you add it up? Did I place the 10 after you add it up? If Sarah is 10 today,
10 minus.
we had 10, would be 10 minus 5. So if Sarah is M today, what would we write? M minus 5. So we have to be conscious of how we're reading it, right? We know it's a M, we know it's a 5, and we know it's a minus, but it's where to place it. If she's 10 years today, if she's M today, that means that's the present. And remember your English class, we had present tense, right? So the present would be more than the past, right? So the answer for that will be M minus 5. A soda costs $100. that is a Buster soda that we have in Guyana right now that we can afford to buy. What is the cost of Y sodas? How do we write that? We don't know how much is Y, but how do we write it mathematically?
$100 plus Y.
$100 plus Y. Anybody else want to try?
100
100
minus Y.
100 minus Y. Akila, your turn.
No. 100 times Y.
100 times Y. Agree, Akila? You're still thinking?
Yeah.
All right. So we don't know what is Y, but let's say this. What is the cost of 2 sodas?
200.
200. What is the cost of 5 sodas?
500.
What is the cost of 10 sodas?
1,000.
1000. 1000 actually is not wrong, but correct, mathematically correct would be 1000. Agree? Yes. Good. So how did we move from the 100 to the 1000? We multiplied. We could have added, but adding takes longer, right? So we multiply to reach our destination faster. Good. So yes. So there we have our algebraic statements, and we had our algebraic expressions. Agree, everyone?
Yes.
So the statements are, what would you say about this? How would you explain the statements in your own words?
Is these statements?
Yeah, any statement, any algebraic statement. How would you explain it?
You could use symbols and numbers instead of using words.
Okay, the statement are the words, and the expression would be the numbers, right? Akila, do you agree?
Yes.
All right, so let's switch over a little to wrap up our session for today. So you can breathe, you can relax. And Akila, could I ask you to do something for me? Please clean our board. Very good girl. Take it light. Jacoby?
Yes, miss.
You think you understood everything for this afternoon? Sure?
Yes, miss. I didn't get to complete 9 and 10 because we have to switch to the other.
Oh, okay then. All right, you will get the information, right? Because remember, then you will go over it, so you'll be able to understand it for the other class. Shamar, you okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Supposed to.
No.
So, we're coming down to the end of the session. We will be wrapping up. So, Akil is doing a little exercise. All right, Akila, thank you very much. You did a lot. I will do the rest. Thank you, dear. Yes. So we just take away, right? And decrease the writing on the board. So I'm going to share a game with you that we're going to use to wrap up for this session. My screen should be coming up. So this game actually is called Bamboozle. And from the questions that you are seeing, I would like you to choose one question. And I will call you. They have several questions. So as I scroll up, you will choose your question. Think about your question. So when I ask you, you will see what question you're going to be answering. So you have a range of questions here. So choose wisely.
The fourth one.
They still have more. It's coming, it's coming.
Miss the fifth question.
Just now, just now. We have some more coming. We have more. All right, we have a few more.
Missed the fourth question.
You still want the fourth? No problem. I like that. You want the fifth? No problem. I'm just giving you options. Any yet?
Yes, miss.
All right. So we have our questions. Okay. So Akila would have chosen her question already. So we will go back to Akila's question. Fourth question for Akila.
Yes, yes.
Akila, please read your fourth question.
What is the name of the sign?
What is the name of the sign, Akila? For 15 marks. What is it?
Bracket.
Brackets. Everybody agree?
Yes, miss.
Akila, you're smart. So we have the brackets. Jacoby, ready to go?
Yes, miss.
Okay. What's your one?
Another name for increase.
Another name for increase?
Add.
Addition. Okay. So we have several. Remember we went through some?
Yes, miss.
What are there any new one that we didn't do earlier?
Total.
Total. And remember I said to you, you might come up with some words that I didn't give you, but they will still be correct. Right?
Yes, miss.
To use. Great.
Miss, the other one correct?
Yes, that's correct. Your answers are here. Good. So you got 15. Shamar got 15. Akila got 15. Shamar, which one was your question?
Miss, the one with more than.
The one with more than. You people are smart. Yes.
More than is the same as addition.
More than is the same. That is this one here, right?
Yes.
This one?
Yes, miss.
Same as what?
Addition.
All right. So we have the different words that we can use. Okay. Back to Akila. If you think that was only one. So we have 15, 15, 15. Let's see who will get all for the afternoon. Yes, Akila? You want me to scroll up a little?
Yes.
Akila, you're being a little too smart for me.
Miss, they can go next.
Pardon?
They can go first.
You can go first. I know you're smarter than that.
Times the
I can scroll up a little more. Shamar, like you found yours. Shamar, you found yours?
Yes, miss.
All right, since Akila's taking long. Shamar, what's your own?
Miss, the one, what is a symbol?
Read it.
What is a symbol of results in maths?
Okay, what's the symbol of results?
Equal.
Answer? Equal. All right, let's see if he's correct. Voila. Equal, so he's correct. So you have 30 marks now. Akila, are you ready? Or Jacoby?
Maybe I should think come up.
no, Miss Akila.
None of you? Okay, we need to. Seconds to
Can you?
scroll back up.
Yeah.
No problem.
Oh, the square of C changed to algebra.
The square of C changed to algebra. Answer would be
C and a floating 2.
C square, C in a floating 2. Good. What do you notice there?
C.
Is the 2 floating?
No, miss.
No, the 2 is not floating because of how it's entered, right? So, seeing the 2, C with the 2 like that, it's not correct. Okay? But just because of how it was entered, that is why they don't have that floating C. Right? Because if you have 2C, C2 like that, you're actually having 2C. like when we put the 2 in front. Right? So just keep that, just take note of that. Yes, Jacoby, your own. So we have 30, 30, Jacoby. Come, scroll down a little.
Yes, Miss, up.
Up. Okay. Any else yet, Jacoby? No answers, Jacoby? So you remain with your 15 marks?
Miss, you could go to the first set.
The first set? Okay, I will give you one, Jacoby.
Okay.
Let me see if you can get that one.
What was it divided by? Yeah.
Okay, the product of x, sorry about that.
Something maybe if you can write.
Sorry about that. Yes, Jacoby, the product of x and 3 change to algebra.
The product of x and 3 change. Miss, you put
X
and 3.
X and 3. Anybody would like to help him?
The product of x and 3.
The product of anybody would like to?
Product x times 3 times x.
3 times x. Remember, product would be one of the multiplication words, right? So it's 3 times x, 3 dot x, 3 multiplied by x, or we can write
3.
X.
No, x. X.
3x. 3x. Yes, so let's wrap up. Let's wrap up. Yes, so we know in life things happen, right? So let's wrap up for the afternoon. What were you doing for the afternoon?
Algebraic expression.
Algebraic expression and the algebraic statement by using the symbols and the signs for mathematical operation. We can have the addition, the subtraction, the multiplication, the division. We can have squares. And as we go along, we will have the additional signs that you can use. Right? So remember, in everything that we do in mathematics is life. Even when we are in our English classes, we are still relating it to the mathematical concept of it, right? So do not take the math or your English classes for granted. Mathematics is?
Life.
Mathematics is?
Life.
So we thank you all for being a part of this session for week 2, and we know that we are expecting to see greater things from you come in our week 3 sessions next week. So do enjoy and have a blessed afternoon. Good afternoon all.